Hello, hello, family. Welcome to another episode of Time to Heal podcast. Give yourselves a round of applause for some good contact. As you see, I got a new little toy, so I'm kind of excited about that. But yeah, as I go forward and effort to improve, I will always look to improve my offering and you know just my show in general. Anything I do, I try to improve in it. I hope that shows in the effort and the work that I'm putting in through my episodes as we grow, as I grow. I hope that you will grow along with me. And again, I always invite, give me feedback. Again, I openly accept feedback, openly welcome feedback. I yearn for ways to get better. I don't want to be just another person talking on the internet. I had a conversation with a friend of mine and I explained that to him. That's the last thing I want this to be is just another person talking on the internet. So if it ever gets to that point, if I'm not giving substance, if I'm not giving good content, then at that point I will, you know, have to make a decision. Um, but as I always state, eat the meat, throw away the bone. All right. My aim is to give content, to give substance for everyday things that we deal with in everyday life, things that, you know, the everyday person deals with. That is my target market, and I will not, as best as possible, stray from that. We have people out there telling you how to be millionaires and all of that type stuff. I'm not a millionaire yet. Maybe once I become one, then, I'll start talking about that or may include that in my content. But I'm okay. I'm good. But right now, I want to help the everyday person. That is my focus. So again, in any way that I can get better, give me feedback. But yeah, anything that I say that you feel you can use, by all means, take it, use it. You know, regurgitate it to someone else if it can help them. If I say anything that you don't agree with or you know you think is wrong, give me feedback, but again, please make it, constructive. I, this is a positive platform. This is a platform of positivity. That's what the space that I am aiming to create. And, I think I'm doing a pretty decent job at creating that. So let's go ahead and dive in what we what I have to offer today. But before we get into the actual episode, one thing that I always said that I wanted to do if I had a platform is to use my platform to highlight other people who are out there doing great things and doing amazing things. So this is my first section of my episode, where again I want to highlight one small business and one nonprofit every week. Every week that I come on here, I want to highlight one of each. And of course, naturally, I'm going to start with home. I'm big on supporting our own. Like I think we as friends and family members need to do a better job. Not saying we don't, but we could always do a better job of supporting our own. Sometimes we get caught up in the whole familiarity where you're familiar with someone, so you may not see them for the person that they've grown into. You may always see them from XYZ that you grew up with or your little cousin or something like that. But no, they're a business owner now. They just as Walmart is a business, just as, you know, Rockefeller, any of the big brands, just as they are a business, your person who's I don't care if it's lawn care, if it's they making T-shirts, if they're whatever they're doing as their business, that's a business, and we should handle them and give them the same respect that we do as the bigger business. Often, and again, not saying anything negative to anyone, so don't take this negative if you do this. It's just something to be conscious of. But people we're familiar with, yeah, hook me up, man. Do this, for a cheaper price or whatever. Hate to be cliche, but we wouldn't go to Walmart and say that. We wouldn't go to Nordstrom's. We wouldn't go to Tom Ford. We wouldn't go to Louis. we wouldn't go to Gucci and, hey, hook me up. So, you know, give that friend, that family member, same respect. So, with all that being said, the first business that I want to give a shout out is Loving Me Naturally. It is owned by Katrina Blizzard. Yes, my wife. Owned by Katrina Blizzard. She does natural skincare product. Her website is www.lovingmenaturally.com. Visit the site. She does body butters. Men, she does uh, beard oils. She does body scrubs. She has a new magnesium lotion that's good for aches and pains and things of that nature. So definitely stop by her website, give her a review. Again, that's www.lovingmenaturally.com. All right, natural skincare, body butters, oils, uh, lotions, soaps, lip gloss, all of that. She does it. All right. So stop by her, show her some love, give her a shout out. All right. The nonprofit that I want to highlight is, again, Staying Home. This is a nonprofit. It's rather new to the Richmond, Virginia area. Its roots started out in Norfolk, Virginia. I am actually the executive director of this nonprofit. Um, and I'll get into that of how that all, that's actually a story in itself of how it became that. But the nonprofit is the House of Humanity. Their goal is to provide assistance with shelter for nonprofit families and domestic abuse victims. All right. We currently have a food pantry that we're taking donations for. Currently have a clothes closet that we're taking donations for. And again, we're always taking donations. We are a nonprofit. Everything that is donated to us goes right back to our clients. We don't use anything for profit. None of us get paid to do this work that we do. Everything, again, every penny that we get donated goes right back into our clients. Right now, we're helping a few families with extended stays because they are homeless, but they were able to get them an extended stay, and we're helping them, with that. Our goal right now is to get our own facility where we don't have to keep paying money to these extended stays and things of that nature. We can actually have a place where we can help house homeless families and domestic abuse victims immediately. So that's what we're currently doing our fundraiser for. So again, if you want to donate, it's www.thehouseofhumanity.com. Again, that's www.thehouseofhumanity.com. All right. Thank you. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the topic for today, which is the only thing in life that we can control is ourselves. All right. Again, the only thing in life that we can control is ourselves. All right. Now, hear me out. Okay. Because that can be interpreted a few different ways, but hear me out and stick with me with where I'm going with this particular topic. All right. And it's actually funny how this topic came about. Uh, whenever you put something out into the universe will send it back to you sometimes just to test and see, if you're really about that, if you really, living what you preaching in a sense. So I've been working with a young person with anger management, and I'm constantly saying, to the young person, hey, the only thing in life we can control is us. We can't control how people treat us. All we can control is how we react to it. What choice do we make to respond to it? We can't control what opportunities may come to us in life. Why certain people get certain opportunities and others don't. We can't control what opportunities. All we can do is make sure that when the opportunity comes, we make the best of it. That's what we can do. We can control what we can do in a situation, right? But in the terms of today, I'll tell you the story. So how it came full circle. So today, and I actually did a live on this, but I'm gonna be honest, I took that down. One, more information was provided to me, and two, I just had to properly assess the situation. Now, I didn't, go off or anything because I can't. I'm conscious. I'm doing this platform now. I can't react how, even if I may want to, I can't. I have to be conscious of how I move, how I act. I owe that to myself, number one, but as well to the people who are coming here to seek help. How can I be talking one thing but actually out there doing and living something different? So get back to it. My wife and I took our dog to Petco today, and we arrived there on time. And when we first got there, wife goes in, let them know we're here, everything okay, cool. Come back out, grab our dog, and go in. Now our dog is 4 years old, 4 years old, and 88 pounds. Was weighed in today. 88 pounds, 4 years old. Pretty big dog, okay? I get it. And our dog is excited easy. Our dog isn't around a lot of dogs. So when it is around a dog, it wants to play. We have a dog that lives right next door, and they will literally just sit at the gate. Well, not sit, but they would just run up and down the gate, running beside each other, barking at each other, and just frolicking, tails wagging all day. But that's the only real other dog that my dog is around. And as a dog owner, I have to do better at that. But that's a whole nother story. I'll have a dog trainer on later, and we'll get out of that. But anyway, so at the store, dog is excited, and yes, I didn't have the collar on, which again, I will take ownership in my wrong. But dog didn't have a collar on. Dog get loose. Dog get loose. My dog gets loose and runs up to other dogs. Didn't bite at a dog. Didn't do anything. Just ran up to the other dog and was sniffing other dog. Dog world. But again, the wrong, I should have had my dog secured. Okay, I take ownership in that. Okay, so get my dog back under control. Again, take him in. They take the dog information. We check him in, everything. Tell us go wait. So okay, we're out waiting. Dog is naturally, barking a little bit, just excited, but the dog eventually sits down. So the young lady, there's a young lady there, and I guess the man was the manager. He's in the back, working with other dogs. So the young lady tells us, hey, you guys are next. So we're like, okay, cool. We're, getting in, getting ready. So we're sitting there, and the man lets, the dog out. So we begin to move towards the door because the young lady said we were next. Well, he comes out and talked to another lady and takes their dog in there and start, working. So I asked my wife, hey, go ask what's going on because, she said we was next. My wife does. The young lady goes in there and, asks the man what's going on, trying to have some conversation, come back out. I hear the manager saying, well, what time did they get here? Mind you, we were here before our appointment time. Our appointment time was 10:05. We got there at 9:55. We checked in at about 9:57. 9:50, 9:57, 9:58. Our appointment time was at 10:05. If I said that wrong, our appointment time was at 10:05. So we were there on time. They told us to get there 5 minutes early. We did that. Everything, we were fine. We were there on time. The young lady conveyed that to the manager. So he says, "Oh, okay. Well, but because their dog got loose, then they have to wait." So I overhear this, and I'm like, "Excuse me, sir, what's going on? We were next." Well, no, 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 you have to wait. Okay, is what happened? Is there a manager or something I can speak to? Whatever, whatever. No, 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 no. You just have to wait. Excuse me, ma'am. Is there a manager that I can talk to? Because nothing was told us that we got pushed behind. You said we were next, whatever. he starts he shuts the glass. So he starts yelling from behind the glass, whatever it's a little crack in it. He starts yelling from behind the glass of whatever. I actually couldn't understand what he's saying. I said, "Okay, I understand that, sir. I understand that. I still need to see a manager because I need to understand what's going on right now." The young lady says, "Okay, I'll get you a manager." He comes speed walking out from behind the glass and walks over to the manager. I see him. I follow him. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on. He's going to go get his story to the manager before I can speak to the manager. I'll get to that in a second. But so okay, I'll proceed to walk over. I walk over and I overhear him again saying, "Yes, he has an attitude, and I'm not going to see him. He was very rude, and this, that, and the third." So I look at him. I'm like, "Dude, are you serious?" I look at the manager. I'm like, "Ma'am, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't do anything. I just asked, can I see a manager? Because the young lady told us we were next, and that didn't happen. So I wanted to know what was going on, as I should have a right to do as a paying customer." The manager very politely says, "Well, I understand that, but he says, he's not going to see you now." I said, "Okay, cool, cool. Because after this, I don't even want my dog being seen by him." Um, so, but I just for what it's worth, I explained the situation. I explained everything to the manager, just as I am to you all. Same tone. Again, I'm very self aware. The first thing I do in all situations, I analyze myself, which is why I took the live now because I was emotional. But again, I didn't yell or I was never cussing and fussing anything. I wasn't that emotional. But I did the live without first analyzing myself. Right? So that's where, it comes in. So we go out, do the live, whatever, whatever. My wife calls and talks to the now. Yeah, my wife calls and talks to the corporate office, let them know what happened, and that's it. We go home. But summarize, he never once communicated to us that, hey, because we have a policy, if your dog gets loose, you lose your appointment time or anything. He never once communicated any of that to us. Right? That's I overheard him asking, "Hey, what time did they get here?" to the young lady. Then once he found out that was on time, so he was trying to build his story there. Right? Now, I'm not even going to play the race card. And that's what I did in the video, which is why I took it down. Even if that is fact, right? Even if that is fact. There are some people in the world. You may not want to admit it, but there are some people in the world, right? But there were other black people in there. He helped, the black person's dog, before, so I'm not even gonna go there, right? But there was a difference between myself, him, and the next customer that he took in front of me and my wife. We were the only ones left of our color. But anyway, again, I'm not gonna go there. That's not where I'm going, right? So we go, I get here again, didn't know that because our dog got loose, that was nothing was ever communicated to us. But that is what I guess what was communicated to the corporate office. I guess they had already talked to the corporate office or whatever. So again, I didn't have that information when I made the live, which is why, I took it down. So I want to review that because again, I could have gotten mad. I could have, flipped out, cursed them out, and did all this because was I wrong? You know, maybe safe to say, we were. But again, in that situation, what was I going to accomplish by flipping out and by doing all that? Was my dog going to get seen? Was I going to get what I needed from that situation by doing that? Probably not. If you didn't want to see my dog without me, with me remaining calm, probably wouldn't have seen my dog with me flipping out either, right? Um, would I have been able to, make a scene and do all that? I could have, but why? What was that gonna do except for make me look bad? Uh, make what? I may have got a couple of clicks on social media if it would have gotten that, but what was that going to accomplish at the end of the day? He's probably, going to keep his job is nothing, right? So I can't control how he treated me, right? I can't control the other factors in that situation. All I can do is remain calm and make sure that I handle that situation correct. Because if I would have took any of those other options, what was I going to accomplish, right? If I'd have got mad and decided to fight him or something in the store, that was gonna get me a charge. That was gonna get me locked up. That what was that going? How was that going to benefit me, right? So that's kind of what I mean by the only thing we can control in life is ourself and how we respond to a situation. A lot of times without realizing it, we get programmed to respond a certain way, right? Spiritualists have been studying this, for years of testing and all that. I'm not going to get that far, but I do believe that people study how people respond to certain things to understand how to manipulate, right? But I'll go back to the first part of that statement is, if we come up and we see mom or dad, the only way that they handle their situations is with physical or brute force or yelling and screaming or throwing a temper tantrum. We're gonna unconsciously accept that behavior and display it. I used to, right? Not saying it came from my mom or whatever, but just speaking in general, that's what that's how it worked. We're gonna consciously do that. Um, but on the other hand, if we came up and seen everybody who has conflict or issues, discuss them, communicate, talk about them, then that's the behavior that we're gonna display. But we can also learn different, right? But before we can learn how to respond different, we have to know what's causing that response in the first place. So that's identifying the triggers to get you to respond, understand why it's getting you to respond that way, and then consciously change that response, right? But in most factors, 99% of the factors or things that we go through or anything, the only thing that we can control is ourself, right? We can't control how the boss treat us at work. All we can control is how we react to that boss, make sure we're doing our best to do what we need to do to keep our job and move forward. And sometimes that still doesn't work. But in that instance, we still can't control what that person does. Yes, unfortunately, we live in a reality that there are some people who just won't get along with us or won't like us for whatever reason. And some people who will never listen to this podcast, even though they can get something from it, just because it's me. And that's fine, right? In life, we get caught up with trying to please everybody and make sure everybody is happy with us and all that. That's a tough life to live. I listened to Joy Taylor, and I think her name is Raquel Brooke, if I'm not mistaken. They have a podcast called Too Personal, and they actually discuss that very topic of trying to please everybody. That's a very hard life to live. You know how many different personalities are out there, how many different mindsets. It's impossible. Honestly, it's impossible. So if you want to live that life, cheers to you. Again, I am not here to judge anybody, but that's just a rough life to live. But sometimes, we get caught up in that. We gotta do our best to refrain from that because again, some people won't like you or won't want to deal with you for whatever reason, and whatever you say or do will never change their mind. And that's okay. That's totally okay, right? Control yourself. Once you realize or use your discernment and see who these individuals are, who these people are, do what you got to do to make your adjustments, right? You do what you got to do to make your adjustments for your own well-being, not the next person, not, you know, mama, mother, mother, dad, anybody of that nature. Make your adjustments for you, right? So just to summarize it all up, and again, I openly invite, if you have a rebuttal, right? Hit me up. Let's have a discussion on it. Not a debate, right? Even though, some may call it that, but a debate is a discussion with facts, I guess, but yeah, let's talk about it. Because again, I am not too egotistical to think I can't learn something. I am not too big on myself to think that I know it all. Again, I say it every episode, and I will continue to say it. There are no gurus. We all can learn something. We keep living, right? We all can learn something. So, um, yeah, I openly invite the dialogue. I openly invite the provide some context that I may not think of or may not have thought of, where there is a situation where you know you can control something else regardless of yourself, right? But my whole premise is only thing we can control is how we react in this life. Even if I take it back, to my change podcast. Again, you might want somebody to change, but until they want it for themselves, you can't flip a button and make them change. You can't flip a button and make a situation change. But you can, right? You can see things coming and prepare yourself for the possible change. So when the change does come, you're okay. You can see a small opportunity that many people may not see, go in there with an open mind, make the best of that situation, good things may come. I'm a walking uh testimonial of that. Again, when I first got into the trucking industry, started with UPS Freight. Started with them as a customer service agent. We're making $11 an hour, and I ended my career with them as a assistant terminal manager, making nice money. I ain't gonna go into that, but yeah, I was making nice money. So it's all about you. Again, I will always, not negatively, but I will always try to get you to realize that it is nothing outside of you, right? You control everything that happens in your life. You control everything that goes on in your life. How you react to it, what your mindset is about it. Those two things control and dictate a lot of what happens in our life, whether we realize it or not. And the sooner we learn to control those things, or we actually learn what's happening to our mind, our thoughts, once we learn what's happening or why certain thoughts or certain mindsets are within, and we can start adjusting them to work better for us, I think we will ultimately benefit and see the light and begin to start working towards better lives holistically as a community. So again, that's my topic for today. Again, thank you all for stopping by. Boy. Again, give me feedback. I openly invite it. Uh, be great. All right, keep up the good work. As some of you might, well, you on the visual can't, on the audio can't see it, but yes, I do have my merch coming. Time to Heal podcast. Yes, I'm trying to grow this thing as big as possible. There's a lot of people out there who need help. There's a lot of people out there who don't. I openly realize that. Those that don't, again, throw it away. Throw away the bone. You're good, fine. I acknowledge that. Not for everybody. I'm trying to be for everybody. I'm just for those people out there who just need a little help with getting over the hump of something, or trying to help change something, a certain aspect of it. I got you. I'm here with you. Again, be great this week. Put your best foot forward. I'll be back soon. Talk to you. Love.